Everyone's starting to join in.
Take a pic of us.
Hey, everybody.
Cheese.
You have to take a few because chances are one of our eyes are definitely closed, Kath. That always happens. Someone's got this look.
Yeah.
What I'll do is when we're done, I will publish it, like I'll edit it, and then I'll upload into our portal, and then I can take some snip captures of good shots of us. So all of us pause for a moment and smile. And that'll be the one I choose.
I just took some.
Please send it to my mom.
She's so proud of you on the RDH view.
Oh.
You guys are laughing. I'm totally serious. This is like a fabulous venue.
Well, we do have a lot of fun. And at the same time, we deliver great education and we're so engaged with our members with it. So it's been very rewarding for all of us.
Well, and the sad thing is there's not a whole lot of people that can say that in dentistry. And that's absolutely what we need right now.
Thank you.
So hats off to everybody on the screen, for real.
Thank you.
Aw, thanks.
I feel like we're like the Brady Bunch because I usually watch it in a different view, but today I'm watching it with all of us there.
No.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember
So,
the intro.
Let's all look at one each other. Like I'll look down because I'm at the top. You guys look to the side.
Please. I don't want to be Alice. Please don't make me Alice.
When you look diagonally as well, how do you do that here?
I don't know. I think she's got the right screenshot because if I look diagonally, it might not look so good either. So, you know, we work so hard to make sure we're all beautiful for everybody.
We should see if we could get the Brady Bunch theme as our theme song. As we're coming on.
I pretty much look the same from every angle.
Well, I think having said that, I think we should do a poll to see who thinks, who spent the most time on their hair? Is that what the poll was? Is that what we're going to do?
We can do that. We can do
All
that.
right. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm set. All right.
Start with poll number 1.
Poll number 1. Right. Here we go.
It's anonymous. You won't hurt our feelings, okay? But please vote for me.
Can I vote for myself?
You're not allowed to vote. You're
Can't do it.
You're panelist.
No putting it on Instagram, okay, and pulling the votes that way. That's not fair. Oh!
Woo! All right, I gotta vote for Tim.
I love it.
You guys are in for a treat today. That's all I can say.
Oh.
All right. Well, we're only at 50%, so there's still some valuable feedback to be had here.
I'm gonna type in the chat box. Come on, place your vote.
Yes.
I think you've all gone COVID crazy.
Oh, that's
Pandemic pandemonium.
Of course, Danny is interacting. She's the interacting queen on Instagram.
You know.
Oh yeah, she's just rocking the Instagram.
Instagram, Danny.ultrasonic
Follow her today.
today.
Well,
We have a great group.
we have a
I know
great-
lots of my followers are here today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right.
I know both of my followers are here today too.
Go Tim.
All right, are we ready? Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
Donnelly.
You knew it. You knew it.
Funny.
Ha ha ha.
Oh. You won by a landslide.
You did. You did.
Definitely.
If I choose Danny, will I win a Puraback? That was.
Oh gosh, I had this sweet person from Ottawa email me. So emailed me at my Dentsply account saying that, you know, obviously their Purevac's on back order. What could I do to expedite the manufacturing? And if I couldn't expedite the manufacturing, could I start giving out samples while people waited? And as much as I would love to do that, I don't have that much control. I wish I did.
Is there an ETA on that, Danny?
Well, you know, a big shipment came in last week. So I don't know if you saw on Instagram, but a number of people were unboxing their PureVacs.
Nice.
So it's almost, there's so many people worldwide in the queue. As the big lots get released, we clear up the back order slowly and slowly. So
Right.
if you ordered in March or April, you've probably gotten your inventory, or at least in March. But if you ordered yesterday, it's going to be a few months. I'm sorry. I'm going to type that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I know.
I like your mug. I like your mug, Tim. That was really nice to support us here. Very nice.
Oh,
It's strictly egotistical because it's my name, and apparently, unfortunately, Tim Horton stole it from me.
Tim Donnelly, what's your favorite Tim bit?
Oh.
Well, let's just say that there are a couple Tim Hortons here in the States, thankfully. One's outside of Cincinnati, Ohio. And I once stopped there on the way up to visit my mom in Pittsburgh, and they didn't have the powdered sugar raspberry jelly filled. So I gave them an ultimatum. I said, look, I'm driving back here on Sunday, and I don't want just the 10 thing. I want a 20 pack. In fact, I want 2 of the 20 packs. And if they're not going to be here, I'm an American. I'm going to bring a gun. I'm going to riot. I need my Timbits.
That's funny.
See how we would have apologized that they didn't have them, and then we would have figured a way to say, I'm sorry that you don't have these, and I really would like them. Could that be possible, please?
I'll come back next year and get them.
See, and since it's in America, unfortunately, they said, get out of here.
So that said, the answer to my question was the powdered raspberry filled Timbits are your favorite?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very good to know.
I think I have 20 of those.
Okay. We have 50 packs and 100 packs in Canada.
We do.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
All right. We are just after 1 o'clock. I think there's probably going to be some more people joining us. I'm just going to give it a little bit of housekeeping just as people are coming in. We've got a big group today, so I'm very excited about the discussion we're going to have. There's lots of us on here, so you will notice there is a Q&A option where you can ask us questions. We are going to do our best with whatever time we have at the end to address a couple of the questions, some of the questions. But yes, just keep in mind how many people are here. There's also a chat function. If you have a question or a comment about anything that's being discussed, you can use the chat function for that. We will be using the polls today at some point. If you are on an iPhone and you don't have the option to vote, don't worry, it's just something we're doing for fun and for a little bit of interaction. But if you're not able to participate, just track along with us and you'll be just fine. All right, that's all I have to say about that.
Great. Thanks, Beth. Well, welcome everybody to the RDH View. We're super excited to be here and so honored to have Dr. Tim Donnelly, Danny Botbill, and Beth Ryersey as our guest. I think we're all in for a treat today just from our pre-discussions. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of great learning. So before we get started, I'll just read the bios for each of these lovely people. So we have Dr. Timothy Donnelly, who is a DDS and MSD periodontist. And we found out that he is a dental hygienist living in a periodontist body today. He is an internationally recognized author and thought leader on the topic of periodontal debridement, aerosol control, and minimally invasive treatment. And then we have Danny Botbill, who is an educator, author, and researcher, and Instagram extraordinaire. She is a subject matter expert in the area of ultrasonic instrumentation and authority on the management of dental aerosols. And then we have the lovely Beth Ryersey, who is an educator, consultant, elected CDHA Ontario Board Director, and a key opinion leader. She is an author and thought leader on dental hygiene workflow. So great expert panel here with us today. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I want to start it off with asking Dr. Donnelly the first question, which is early in the pandemic, dentistry was placed on the non-essential list. And do you think that that was a mistake, Dr. Donnelly?
Oh, so you're going to get me started right off.
Yes, I am.
Go right for it.
Yeah, I think it was a massive mistake. And I'll give you my little 2 cents worth. We were finally starting to find our rightful place on the healthcare stage in dentistry. As a profession, we were finally coming to terms with the fact that we really got to be doing more than cleaning teeth. And then with the stroke of a regulatory pen, we were deemed non-essential. The big beef I have with that is I think that trivializes what we do. It's hurt our patients, it's hurt our practice, it's hurt our profession, you know, and I think for a lot of us, it's hurt our personal psyche as well. I could deal with the fallout of being non-essential if it wasn't for one small little issue. It's not true. It absolutely is not true. You can make a solid argument for the fact that a preferred level of oral health improves a person's resistance to disease. Not only are we not non-essential, we can play a massive role, not just in handling the pandemic, but in handling a whole bunch of things that are related to oral health. So the reason I wanted to come here today is indeed I am a hygienist trapped in a periodontist body. I'm the biggest supporter of dental hygiene in the world. It's because I get it. I mean, who is the one profession that has the ability to help patients get and maintain a preferred level of oral health?
Mm-hmm.
That's everyone tuning in today. We should be shouting that from every mountaintop to every patient, to every doctor, to every regulatory agency. We are essential. Vote for me.
And all you hygienists out there, this is where you need to give yourself a pat on the back because it's
I truly
so
believe that,
true.
though. We need a whole new message. We need a whole new approach. It's time to claim our rightful place on the healthcare stage, and the hygienist has to be the one leading that charge.
Because forever, not forever, but for the last probably decade or so, we've been really stressing seeing our patients every 3 months and how important it is. And, you know, you look at our diabetic clients, our cardiovascular clients, and we're saying, you know, it's very important that we see you in 3 months. And all of a sudden it's like, we don't need to see you. It's okay. So what's going to happen to those people that are not being treated? It's definitely, we are essential. And it does, I think, hurt the message overall that we've been trying to portray.
And I think
I worry too about everybody's, you know, personal psyche on the thing. The fact of the matter is it's time for us to feel good again about what we do for a living. And the foundation of that is we do a really important thing. We're making huge contributions. We need to make sure everyone knows that, and we need to make sure and take some solace in that ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'd just like to add, we need to integrate that message amongst our own teams. Like myself with the, you know, the dentist who I work with in the practice, with the assistant who's there, with the, you know, that needs to also be embraced internally in our practices too, because I think in you know, some instances, especially in the light of the pandemic, there might be some disconnects going on right now.
Just a little.
Just a little.
this can be our reason to reach out to our clients, our patients, and to really show them what it is that we know and bring the research in and educate them. And you're right, we have to bring the whole team. It's got to be a message coming forth because we really are, you know, healthcare providers, and we can find and see disease sometimes before it's evident. And we have to use this as an opportunity. And so going back into the op and trying to reduce the fear for your clients, but also educate them on the importance of oral health. That is the key, is we've got to get them healthy. They've got to stay healthy, and then they're going to reduce the risk of so many aspects. It's vital.
No
Hey,
question.
there's a comment, guys, from Carla, and she says because of one virus, all other bugs and viruses and bacteria all of a sudden become unimportant.
Yeah.
Right? We have to remember, yeah, there's a lot out there beyond COVID. COVID-2 for sure.
I know. Now, I have a question for you. how on earth are we supposed to take all of the different recommendations? I feel like every week there's an update from somebody, and not all the bodies are talking. You've got different information from the US, you've got different information from Canada. And I can tell you my head is spinning from trying to stay on top of it. And I just, you know, what are we supposed to believe? What are we not supposed to believe? Where's the true science, the fake science? Anyone help me?
I'm happy to chime in, which I know will be.
Go for it. Go for it.
No one else was a taker on that. I don't know why. They totally set you up and were like, that's it. That's Tim. Tim's going to
Well, you know, this is another thing that I'm passionate about. And the reason why is, let's assume we all want our care to be legal. We want it to be safe. We want it to be efficacious. And we want it to meet the standard of care. I think the reason there's so much confusion is because we haven't really defined what those terms are. The fact of the matter is the standard of care is not what the top 10% of dentists are doing. It's not what a dental school professor is doing. It's not what a regulatory body publishes. To meet the standard of care, which is a legal burden, and I've been on the witness stand as an expert witness numerous times, to meet the standard of care, your care has to answer a very simple question. Is it scientifically reasonable? Well, the only person that can determine that is you, the practitioner. You have to look at the available evidence, weigh the significance of the evidence, and determine what is reasonable. You know, the evidence-based approach is not just finding an article and waving it around and saying, hey, this justifies what I'm doing, but rather clinical judgment, by definition, is part of the evidence-based approach. I think what's critical is to look at the available evidence that's out there, to rank it in significance. Unbiased literature, absolutely positively, is the top of the list. You can either do that work yourself, you can tune in to unbiased, solid CE efforts that review that. That's the top of the list. Yes, official regulations are on that list. Below that, I would probably put things like what I like to call sponsored science, stuff that comes out that have sponsored by companies that might have ulterior motives. But most importantly, like things that you deeply believe in, things that you feel in your heart, things that you heard somebody say, things that you read on Facebook. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's really getting you into the court of public opinion. That's not advancing the standard of care. I think you have to look at what the available evidence is. The answer to the question is you. You're the one who to believe. You have to decide what makes the most sense for you, what's safe, what's efficacious, what actually is giving your patients the best chance to get to where we know that they need to get to. I think that's good news, because the fact of the matter is the information's out there. There are people that are willing to share the information. You know, maybe we have to take a little bit more responsibility as a profession, and instead of reacting to the now you see it, now you don't on Facebook or other social media platforms, to actually look at what we know for sure. Let's not forget everything we've learned in the past.
That's a great point. And I think we have a poll question about standard of care in regulatory.
Yes,
Maybe a good time to pop that in, because I think the hundreds and hundreds of people that are on this call today are struggling a little bit with finding their way through the evidence and, wondering whether or not they're compromising standards of care because of provincial and state regulatory body guidelines.
I think you're right.
Do you fear that you are compromising any standards of care, for example, the use of ultrasonics, given your provincial state regulatory body guidelines?
Now, I'll also add, like, the good news is there is a way. There is a way to provide the necessary care, to abide by what the regulations are, to give patients the care they need, to do it safely, to do it legally. There is a way to do that.
Look at that. It's amazing. And sad. But to Tim's point, there's a way to flip that, the yes and the no. Incredible.
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to us practitioners to have that doubt.
Absolutely.
How do we flip it? What do you suggest?
Well, like I said, I think the first thing we have to do is look at what the unbiased research actually says and look at the quality of the evidence. Now, the great news is we have a lot of that. These so-called questions that have come up that everyone's panicking over are not new to dentistry. What's new is not just the spread of disease, but it's the fear over the spread of the disease. And the fear is really what's generating a lot of the misinformation and the confusion. Let's look at what we know for sure. Let's determine what's scientifically reasonable in clinical judgment, what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Once that happens, and we've worked that out, we've been back to work now, we're going on about week 7 or 8. We've worked that out. It works for my hygienist, it works for me, we collaborate, we back to enjoying our profession. We're giving our patients actually a real service. It is possible. We just have to remember where we started, and we have to update it with good, solid information to get where we need to go.
Oh my gosh, that word collaboration, I don't know, just gives me goosebumps, and it makes me, it makes me wonder how many dental hygienists, how many dentists are really taking this as an opportunity to collaborate and emerge stronger. And again, I think, I don't know, I'm the poll queen today. I think we have a collaboration poll.
We do.
Yeah. So is there collaboration between the dentist and the dental hygienist in your practice? And then a part 2 to the question, do you see that there's an opportunity to improve this collaboration? I am getting so many messages from my Instagram followers about the need for collaboration more than ever right now. And again, we talked about how maybe that's just a little bit off in the era of COVID. I know, I want to see.
Here we go.
Okay, so some collaboration, great. Oh, and then everybody sees improvement.
So Beth, I wanted to ask you, there's so many, RDHs that are, feeling really hesitant about going back, and there are plenty of reasons, but what do you think are the most compelling, and how do you think that that's going to affect the profession as a whole?
Well, and thank you, Anna Louise. That was very illuminating, wasn't it? That poll that we just did, and actually reassuring to find that there is collaboration happening, and the good practices are the ones, the ones who are going to be successful are the ones who are engaging in that collaboration. And I think we've gotten really caught in the weeds, and that we need to take a step back and look at some bigger picture stuff. I believe that it comes down to value. Everyone wants to feel valued and respected and safe and confident and competent. And somehow that has slipped away for many. The results, CDHA did a survey not long ago, and the results showed that 43% of dental hygienists across our country are contemplating a change in career. 43%. That is staggering. How can it be that there is that level of despair in our profession? And granted, certainly COVID-19 has not helped anyone feel less desperate, but it has also brought some other things into clearer focus. As Dr. Donnelly said, it's time to feel good again about our profession, and we are essential. There are patients who know that their hygiene appointment is important. many practices that have returned to work are finding that hygiene appointments are the ones that patients are clamoring for. That and so we have done a good job in educating them to know, to understand the impact that oral health has on overall health. And some patients get it and they stick with their schedule for their debridement appointments at the recommended interval. But what about the others? You know, and I think that we have to take the hit on this one, that if we continue to talk about cleaning, then it stays an optional cosmetic service that we're providing. And we're guilty, and the rest of the team is guilty of still using that word. If they're just coming in to have the stains polished off, well, they can do that anytime or not do it. And that's why, you know, the vast majority of short notice cancellations and no-shows are in the hygiene column. They're not in the dentist column, they're in the hygiene column. And, you know, 23 years ago, in 1997, Irene Woodall wrote an article, Irene Woodall, one of our early gurus, right? Wrote an article entitled The C Word. 23 years ago. We've been talking about this for a really long time, and we have yet to get it out of our lexicon. She talked about how using that word devalues what we do, that we miss what's really going on in someone's mouth and you know, the signs and symptoms of bigger problems. So perhaps we need to spend more time creating value for the broad spectrum of services that we provide, and less time teaching patients how to floss for the umpteenth time that isn't going to make any difference anyway. We're worth so much more than that.
So,
you know, go.
Oh, I was going to say, so can I ask you a question on how do we bring the dentist and the dental hygienist together on this situation? Because sometimes there's just not that collaboration, or there's that disconnect that we, you know, you just need to have a cleaning, get as many cleanings done. We have so many people in backlog. How would you suggest we approach the situation? Because I'm a firm believer in all that you said, as anyone that's listening, but there are individuals and really great dental hygienists that are stuck in a situation where they need help to approach to get this collaboration. And, you know, how do we bridge the gap?
Yeah.
Thanks. Remember that I'm here listening.
I know, but you're one of us. It's okay. You get an honorary RDH beside your DDS or DMD RDH. Okay, we'll give it to you, an honorary one. Okay.
That actually would be wonderful.
We'll put it on a T-shirt. Okay.
There you go.
Bumper sticker.
So, you know, again, a bigger picture stuff. Effective communication is the absolute key, and we're missing that piece too. If there was ever a time that DDSs and RDHs needed to talk with each other instead of at each other, it's now. Yeah. We've all been trained to be critical thinkers, and I think that's the process that needs to be put back into place here. When we're dealing with these obstacles and these challenges, what if we were to let go of the emotion and apply the process? Because right now the emotions are running so very high that we can't get beyond it. We can't get past that to get to the real crux of the problem. And you know, that critical thinking process is to, first of all, identify the true problem, because I think a lot of the things that we're emotional about are not the true problem. What is it that is actually causing the anxiety? Where is that anxiety coming from? And then we have to understand the facts, right? And list them down. What are the absolute indisputable facts? And then come up with some possible solutions. You know this process. You think outside of the box and you throw a lot of things on paper, and you look at each one of those solutions individually and go, okay, what are the pros to doing this? What are the cons to doing this? And then you eliminate the ones that are the solutions that are out of the question. And then you say, okay, we're down to a couple here, and let's choose one and implement it and see how it goes. And then evaluate it and say, okay, that worked really well in this instance, and we should do that again. Or, you know what, that didn't work, and so we need to do something differently the next time this comes up.
There's a great scene from one of my favorite movies, which is Apollo 13. And in the movie, you know, the astronauts, they're not worrying whether they're going to be able to get them back to Earth. And the guy in mission control standing there, and all the people are yelling the problems that they're having. They don't have enough oxygen. The CO2 filters aren't working. And one of the underlings looks at the flight director and says, I believe this is going to be NASA's biggest disaster in the history of the space program. And the flight director looked at him and says, with all due respect, I think this is going to be NASA's finest hour. Now, the fact of the matter is, I truly believe, I think the pandemic's a good thing for us in dentistry. This is giving us an opportunity to reset. Let's learn what hasn't worked in the past. Let's deliver a better message. Let's make sure the patients know it. My hygienists are tremendously respected in my office. They don't work for me, I work for them. That's the only way a good, successful office is going to work. I think this could be our finest hour. I really, really do.
We had to put the emotion aside, and getting back to our chat again, Carol says, less fear, you know, less fear, less anxiety. You have to understand the science and get back to, you know, Beth's critical thinking. But, you know, how many of us are still at that fear level? I think we have a, I'd like to know that, because yeah, look at, we don't have to cue that up. You know, do you have any fear about being chairside and treating clients? You know, that's a question that, you know, I don't think we'll have trouble being honest answering. I just can't wait to see if that's starting to balance out a little bit. I know when I was on the program 6 weeks ago, there was lots of, you know, there was lots of fear. I'm just wondering how that sits now.
I'm going to give it to you.
All right. Everybody participate, please.
All right, here we go.
So it's still, you know, it's still in the majority. So we haven't yet kind of gotten that under the under the 50% mark yet.
We've found a way to practice where I feel better about practicing. I feel safer than I did pre-COVID. We're in much better shape now than we were before. There's a way to do it.
I think now too, people are making sure they follow all the steps. We knew all the regulations, we knew all the guidelines, but you know, I'm still gonna wear my earrings. I'm not gonna maybe wear in Ontario, you know, maybe I'm not gonna wear the gown. Yeah, exactly. Or I'm not gonna, you know, do all these things. Now we all have those reasons. The regulations were there. They're there to keep us safe and to keep our clients safe. So I agree with you.
I think you're right. I've taken my earrings out.
Good.
I expect earrings next time we talk. Okay, I want to see the clip-on earrings and the beautiful hair.
Deal.
Well, but we get to choose, right? We can extend a lot of energy being angry and resentful and why do we have to do this, and or we can channel that energy into getting done what needs to be done. And at the end of the day, you know, it's that whole thing about, you know, we can't change the wind, but we can certainly redirect our sails. And I think that's, you know, this is the opportunity to do that. And at the end of the day, we get to choose whether dental hygiene as a profession is going to be essential or it's not. That's all I'm saying about that.
Okay, I'm waiting to talk.
Okay, talk, Danny.
I'm waiting for a question.
Well, Danny, congratulations on your second appearance in 6 weeks on The View. Like, thank you so much for coming back. So what is the most significant observation you've had in between today and last day?
That's a good question. And I am not going to lie here. I was surprised by that last poll. I was surprised to see that here we are 6 weeks after me talking about, you know, aerosols and being able to control aerosols. I would have to suspect that the large majority of that fear is still underlying. The underlying tone is, you know, disease transmission. Am I going to, as a clinician, you know, acquire COVID? Am I going to bring it home to our to my family? And, you know, Tim alluded to the fact that, you know, he feels more safe than ever. And quite frankly, I do too. So where's the disconnect with the audience today? And, you know, let's, you know, call out droplets, splatter, and, you know, aerosols again is kind of being the driver of that. And a layer on top of that, I have not seen in my life, now keep in mind I'm still very young, so you know, there's still a lot more time for me to experience experiences, but I have not seen in my lifetime in these last 6 weeks so much information overload. Okay? We've got the regulatory bodies coming out with information. We've got you know, unpublished, not peer-reviewed science coming out. You know how we used to have to wait until something was peer-reviewed and published to have access to it? Well, we are reading through so much stuff that has not yet been peer-reviewed and it's published. I've got my Facebook group telling me what to do. I've got Instagram telling me what to do. I've got the white papers coming out. I have the news media coming out. In 6 weeks, the information has just been incredible. And it's obviously not giving us a sense of calm. It's some reason it's continuing to drive our fear. And I think that's unnecessary. Now, the beauty of these two humans that are on here with me today is, you know, just a little backstory. Like in March, it wasn't long after shutdown that, you know, I've known both Beth and Tim now for probably 15 years. Some force drove us together, and the three of us have been weeding through the information since the beginning. Okay, we started this big, you know, online document. We call it the dossier. You know, we all have our areas of expertise, and we look at the research, we look at the science, we look at the credible information. And the three of us have been collaborating and learning together. And that has been awesome. What's come from that is, you know, that first paper that everybody probably knows about. What's our back to work treatment recommendations, aerosol containment, dental hygiene procedures, and personal safety practices. So we're, you know, on our way collecting more information because there's another paper that we're doing. We are on the phone, we are emailing one another. And I think this is unexpected. I don't know that we thought our relationship was going to kind of go this way, you know, COVID, because what we've found is like we're lifelong educators and we want to dig into the science so, you know, the people that we communicate with don't have to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've got another paper in the works, and we've also decided that we want to put together an online learning series.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Through the information.
No, that's awesome. We totally appreciate you doing all that because there's so much information. It's hard to keep up. So if we could have you, you know, kind of go through it all and put together this program for us, I think that is wonderful. It's wonderful.
Well, and the very nature of it is not one of us can keep up with the information by ourselves. You know, we have to split it up into, you know, 3 different, you know, we're working on, you know, together, but we're working on 3 different areas because there's so much information that one of us can't keep up. And then, you know, and then we see the collaboration, you know, and then we see this great collaboration between dentistry and dental hygiene. And we're like, we need to take our collaboration and we need to provide more for the industry. So yeah, we've got a virtual learning series that's in the works, and we'd love to share it with the world.
And what I really think is important is that we get the dentist and the dental hygienist on together, right? Because often one will take a course or the other one will, and then it's just trying to share that information, trying to get back, trying to make change happen. It's not easy. So having everybody on together, be on the same page, work together, create a plan, implement the strategies that you're going to recommend. And then the thing is, don't just take the course, make change happen, right? Document what are you going to do? Revisit it every week. Are we doing this? Are we still on the same page? And that's how you can make change really happen, right? So I'm excited to, can I read the course title and everything? So it's Beyond the Pandemic, How Dentistry and Dental Hygiene Emerge Stronger. This is a virtual learning series. Healthier patients and clients, safer practice, and restoring productivity. So it's really a great series for everybody involved. In session 1, we have Your Practice is Essential, Reboot and Thrive. Session 2, a practical expert-driven protocol for aerosol control and safe practice. And session 3, Workflow, Achieving Success in the New Normal, What to Wear, What to Say, What to Do. So this is expert guidance, support materials, and answers. What I really like, you say, to every question, because there's so many. When I saw that, I'm like, this is going to be good, because there's so, and if you have answers to every question, so I can imagine there's going to be like hundreds of questions. And I know you talked about putting together a short video going through the questions and giving your answer based on the evidence that you've researched, right?
But I'll turn this over to Danny. We'll give you more information about that, but I just want to put my 2 cents worth in. That's bugged the heck out of me. I've watched 6 million webinars up to this point, and it seems like you either get information that's of tremendous interest to the presenter, but doesn't really apply to what you came to listen to. So the 3 of us said, no, that's got to change. We're going to answer every single question that every single person has, because that's really, I think, what's necessary to make change. Danny?
Oh, what am I supposed to add? Oh, how are we going to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, we would like to launch.
If I can chime in before Dan. Oh, okay.
Did we lose her?
Yeah, she's a bit choppy.
Oh, we missed that. Beth, you'll have to repeat.
Oh, sorry. Just saying, to reiterate what you know, or to latch onto what Kathleen was saying, you know, having the whole team get the message is what drives the success. And that's what we're seeing happening is there seems to be a fault line being created, and there are some practices who won't come back from COVID. They will not be able to come back. But the practices that are back and doing really well are the ones who have been communicating and have figured it out. And so that's what we want to help the rest do, is to give you the tools to be able to go through this step by step and actually implement it. As you said, Kathleen, it's one thing to learn great information, but you go to a course on Friday and you go back on Monday morning and you're hit with 3 emergencies, and somebody calls in sick and somebody else calls in pregnant, and nothing ever gets off the ground, and you just continue to do the same thing that you have always done, and we can't do that. And so that's what this learning series is all about, is very practical information that you can trust, that we've worked really hard to put together, and that we're really excited to share with everybody.
This could be a great opportunity too to help bridge that gap when you can bring your doctors on and the hygienist or the whole team really, and then you can hear the same information, have a conversation, because I think you're going to bring up some of those discrepancies between the regulatory bodies and everything else. And this is like an open forum to hear it from somebody else. So you're not let's say the hygienist that's constantly nagging, I need this, and you don't feel like you've got the control. Why don't we try to flip it around and give your team and the doctors an opportunity to say, listen, let's attend this and let's have a conversation about why I'm requiring or I'm asking for these tools or these opportunities.
And we'll give a framework for how to actually have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Give a framework for what questions you need to get settled between doctor and hygienist so that in fact everybody's comfortable with what's going on. There's a way to do it.
Yeah, and we want to launch this, I mean, next month in the first part of July. It's, as Kathleen said, it's a 3-part series where Beth, Tim, and I are going to be online together for every session. So we do invite hygienists and dentists to take this together. I mean, what we want to see is we want to see your fears, your fears be reduced, eliminated. We want you to be delivering the standard of care that you you want to deliver. We want you to we want your practices to thrive. We want relationships between dental and dental hygiene to be elevated. I mean, this is the passion of the Tim Donnelly, Beth Ryerson, Danny Botville collaboration, is just to have dentistry and dental hygiene, emerge stronger. Like, call your dentist as soon as
There this show. No, because really, I haven't seen anything that's really been for the dentist and the dental hygienist. And that's where I see such a disconnect, and I can't even look at Facebook half the time because it's just attack, attack, attack. I really see this as an opportunity to come out stronger, for us to get the message out to the public, how important dental hygiene is, and for them to come in for their treatments. And gone are the days of, like Beth was saying earlier, the whitening and the cleaning. Like, now is the time to really look at it about the whole oral systemic connection. And shame on us if we go back to the same old. Like, we cannot let this pandemic happen and then not come out stronger and with a better message.
Amen.
So, yeah.
You won't survive.
No. And we want you to, we don't want you to bounce back. We want you to bounce forward, right? We want to thrive in this, not just, same old status quo. Like, let's shoot for the moon.
So Danny, if you could teach one skill to dentists and dental hygienists, that would help them achieve their goals today and beyond the pandemic, what skill would that be?
What do you mean, beyond left and right ultrasonic instruments?
Such a thing?
That's, to me anyway, you ask a question like that to Danny Botville and you think it's going to be something clinical, but, I'm going to just piggyback right off of something my friend Beth said. I would love to get back to teaching everybody better critical thinking skills. Like, with the people that, the people that I'm interacting in, in all this for the last several months, it's those of us that are kind of like stopping dead in our tracks and saying, yes, fear, anxiety, uncertainty, those are all normal, natural feelings. But it's the people who say, I have to remember that I'm a skilled, experienced clinician who has a lot of judgment. And if I just dig down into, ramping up my critical thinking skills again, everything is not just going to be all right, but everything's going to be better. Mm-hmm. It will be better if we put our critical thinking caps on. So I'm going to go outside of my clinical comfort zone, and I'm going to go into, psychology and sociology now.
Very good. Are there any more poll questions?
We did have one just about what we were talking about. We were curious to see if anyone had in fact taken courses.
Yeah, the team training. Let's ask them.
Yeah, so let me just get that one up here. I would be curious to see that. Here we go. So has the doctor and the dental hygienist in your practice taken any online learning together during COVID?
We've all taken lots of online learning individually.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But how many of you have taken it together as a team? Drum roll.
5 seconds. Here we go. Okay.
Okay, so this is the opportunity. Honestly, I think we all need to be a part of this and do this with your dentist, because we have to stop the disconnect. We have to work
Stop the
together.
madness. You have to stop the madness.
Stop the madness.
Yeah, but how do you
Okay.
how do you actually do that practically? Because like my hygienist comes in to see me and says, "Hey, there's this great course. We should all watch this together." And you know, I'm in the back of my office. Patients are waiting. I'm watching Joe the Tiger King on Netflix, looking at my email. And I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and watch it. If it's anything good, let me know.
Right.
Yeah.
There has to be something in it for me. And I think what's in it for the doctor is we can make the practice better. You know, I'd go to my doctor and I would say, look, if we do this together, it's going to make the practice better. We can make hygiene work much more efficiently. Now, subconsciously in all of that is you're really saying, hey, dummy, I deserve respect because I'm really the most important part of this practice. And here's a way that you can learn that. I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, the doctor doesn't respect me and I know what we need to do, but they don't. Let's change it. Let's actually then change it. Let's start fresh and let's develop a pathway for that to happen. I think the way you're going to sell the office is, look, this is going to improve our practice. And this is a program that all of us together have to be on board with. You can speak with a little bit of authority because I think if everyone participates, indeed, they're going to come away with a really clear picture of what needs to be done, why it needs to be done, and how come you can feel really good about participating in it.
You know, and we can feel good, job satisfaction, professional satisfaction, the health of our clients can improve. And, you know, it's a word dental hygienists don't like to say, but fiscal health as well for the practice. You know, so we've got improvement for the professionals working, we've got improvement for the patients of the health, patients' oral health and overall health, and then we have, you know, the health of the practice, you know, the money part of it. So there's no reason that your doctor the dentist needs to continue watching Tiger King that night and not come and, you know, be entertained by Tim, Beth, and I.
I'm really glad you mentioned that, because the truth of it is we have to figure out a way to approach it and figure out, you know, from the dentist perspective, if that's the kind of practice you work in, and it's an independent, we'd love you to join. You don't need to have your, you know, if you've got team members there, you've got everybody else, bring them on. But most people, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, most people are working within a structure with a dentist or with a dental team. And you've given us some ways to approach them, because it is about the whole practice, and we need to practice in order for us to practice. And so we have to look out for the benefit of everybody. And the way to communicate that, I think you did a really awesome way and gave us some great verbiage to bring back. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we've got 10 minutes left. So I want to ask each one of you if you have one last thing that you would like to say to us before we close off. So Dr. Donnelly, do you want to start, or should we end with you? Let's end with you.
Yeah, end with him.
Okay, Beth, you
Before I
go.
decide to do that, my closing
And you have to
statement
wear
is
your
about
wig.
5 minutes long.
Yeah. We'll just end it. We'll just go.
So, you know, we're talking about communication, talking a lot about communication. Now is the time, right now, after we get off here, to go and call your DDS, as Danny said, and explain how the entire practice would benefit so much by taking this series together, so that everyone hears the straightforward message during this complicated time. Who we are, what we do, and why we do it, so that you move the practice to an entirely new level. And that's what we have to do coming out of this. We cannot do the same old if we want to increase production and have healthy patients and have a safe and happy workplace. We spend a lot of time at work, and so we need to make sure that we are more than okay, just okay there. Who doesn't want that?
I do.
So be the practice in your community that stands apart from the rest. if you're tired of the hype and the stress, we are offering clarity and a reasonable and realistic path forward. I'm out.
Drop the mic. Bravo.
Miss Danny?
All right, I'm not last. Okay, so we talked a little bit about how super jazzed the three of us are to, in the learning series, go out on this great limb to say every question that the participants of our learning series, everybody who joins us is going to get their questions answered. So just to explain a little bit about how that's going to go. So each session is an hour and a half. So what we plan on doing is we plan on having a 15-minute Q&A at the end of each session. We will take your questions and we will answer them. Any questions that don't get answered in that 15 minutes are going to get logged and are going to be put in a parking lot. Okay? And we're going to do that with each session. At the end, at the end of the 3 sessions, we're going to go to our parking lot and we're going to look at the questions that haven't been answered. And we're going to categorize those into themes. And Beth and Tim and I are going to get online together and we are going to record each one of those questions or each theme relevant to those questions, and we're going to answer them. And if it takes us 15 minutes, it will take us 15 minutes. If it takes us half an hour, we're going to get through them. If it takes us an hour, we're going to get through them. And we're going to take that recording and turn it into a link and give it to everybody who had participated in the learning series. So we will answer all of your questions. Scouts Honor, we got that covered.
Wow, that's quite a bold statement you put out there.
We don't really, know whether or not we're going to be kicking ourselves for that.
But we appreciate you're taking it on.
Well, for sure. And we think that needs to happen in online learning because, you're not getting the opportunity in these dozens and dozens of webinars you've probably taken to have your questions asked. And it's really important to us.
Yep.
All right. I'm out. Drop the mic.
Okay. Dr. Donnelly.
Well, before I get to my 30-minute diatribe, I sincerely want to, this is my first, and I hope my not last, experience with the RDH view. And of course, I've been quite familiar with it. What an honestly, truly fabulous thing to have 1,000 people that are motivated enough to want to make things better. So I applaud you for the format. I applaud you for the interest. I'm a little ticked off that I don't have a coffee mug that has RDH view to drink from. And if I do come back, I'm not coming on camera unless I have that. So, just to make it complete.
Wah.
Right, exactly. I am here to speak the truth. And I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Who is the most important healthcare provider that a patient can partner with if they want to achieve the maximum level of wellness? The most important healthcare provider is a dental hygienist, not one that cleans teeth, but a dental hygienist who realizes that getting patients inflammation-free and keeping them that way is an extremely important part of overall health. It's an extremely important part of best managing the pandemic. There's no question about that. There's absolutely no question about that. There's an easy way to do it. There's a safe way to do it. But most importantly, in doing it, it's time for the dental hygienist to be recognized for the important role they play. I'm getting rid of the cleaning lady image. That's gone. It's time for us to stand up and say, look, this is what dentistry can do for you. And the people that are leading that in dentistry are dental hygienists. And I applaud everyone. Keep the faith in the profession. The fact of the matter is you guys are more important than ever. I can't work without you. And I'm on a mission to make sure every dentist understands that, because it is indeed the truth.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
I
And
know.
it can be done safely. We can be safe doing it.
So I see a lot of questions about how can we register. So what we'll do is we'll send you the link. I'll send the link to this also being recorded, but it's through RDHU. So you could always just go to the website as well, rdhu.ca, go to live streaming, and you could register there. We do have a special promo, so thanks to the three of you for offering this to help people out. And so the special promo is $20 off, so it's $89 for the series, which I thought you were undercharging, and I totally appreciate you helping. But that's really great of you guys to help out, and I think we've all been trying to do that this whole time, is trying to help give free things and giving price breaks and that, because everybody really appreciates it. And then on top of it, we're going to do the $20 off. So it's $89 and until Monday night at 11:59 p.m. So we will just shut it off. We have to pick a time. And so you'll get the $20 off. So use the promo code RELIEF and then that'll apply. So when you type in your information, it'll say $89 and then promo code RELIEF, and you'll see the slash, $20 will be off, so it'll be $69. And that's for the 3 nights, Tuesday, July 7th, 8 to 9:30, Thursday, July 9th, same time, and Tuesday, July 14th, 8 to 9:30. And yeah, so you'll be seeing these 3. We've already have a lot of people register, and also there is a limited number that we've picked for the promo code. So if you do want to do this, you do want to take advantage of saving, I would suggest sooner than later, because we can't, it's all set that it won't be lasting after Monday or to that special number that we've selected, okay? So that's my part. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us once again. And it's a beautiful Friday afternoon, and looking forward to the weekend. And I'm taking a holiday next week, so I'm out. Mic drop.
Can we do a virtual high 10, everybody?
Woo! Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Everybody for joining us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Oh, I'm inspired again. I know.
Bumps.
You know, we need to feel good. You know, I'm tired of COVID and feeling like I want to feel good about my practice again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, it was my pleasure to virtually meet you, Dr. Donnelly. It's been awesome, and to see you guys again. It was awesome. Stay safe, stay healthy, and thanks for all that you guys are doing to help the profession as a whole, because we are also here to support you guys in all that you're doing. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
See you
Be
again.
well.
Bye-bye.